When I was a boy, I watched Moses stretch out his staff, and I saw the Red Sea part like it was afraid of the God behind him. Now I'm no boy. Moses is gone, and the mantle of leadership rests on me. It is a heavy thing to carry the hopes of a nation. He left us at the edge of the promise, and I was chosen to carry us in. But before us stood a fortress, Jericho, a city wrapped in stone and pride, walls looking so big and tall, putting fear in the hearts of men. There was no gate open, no weakness revealed, no way in. But our God, He's not bound by walls. And then, something happened that changed everything. As I walked alone near the city, I saw a glowing man standing before me, with his divine sword drawn, silent and unmoving. I called out, "Are you for us or for our enemies?" He said, "Neither. I am the commander of the army of the Lord." I fell to my face. I knew who I stood before. He told me, "Take off your sandals. The ground you're standing on is holy." So I did. I listened, and the Lord spoke through him. The instructions I was given made no sense in the natural world, but I knew they came from the mouth of God. God told me, "March around the city once a day for 6 days. Have 7 priests carry trumpets made of ram's horns ahead of the ark. On the 7th day, march around the city 7 times, and when the priests sound the trumpet, tell the people to shout, and the walls will fall." No battering rams, no secret tunnels. What we need was just obedience. I gathered the priests, the commanders, and the people. I told them what we were going to do. Some looked confused, others anxious, but no one refused. This wasn't a military strategy. It was a test of trust. We lined up at sunrise. The Ark of the Covenant, holy and shining in the morning light, was carried at the center. Priests ahead, armed men in front and behind. We began to march. We said nothing. Not a single word passed between us. The only sound was the crunch of sandals on stone and the soft blowing of the horns. The people of Jericho watched from behind their mighty walls, at first in silence, then in laughter. They mocked us. Children pointed. Soldiers shouted down curses. We didn't answer. We just kept marching. Once around the city, and we returned to camp. That night, the camp was restless. I saw men looking up at the stars, perhaps wondering if we were really hearing from God, or if we were wasting time. But I knew. I had seen what happens when we obey God and what happens when we don't. So we marched again. Day 2, then 3, then 4, 5, 6. Each day the same. Each lap felt heavier. but no one broke the silence. Something holy was growing in our hearts, a kind of disciplined faith that doesn't need results to keep walking. Then came the seventh day. We rose before the sun. This time we were to march 7 times around the city. I looked into the eyes of the men beside me, no longer doubting, no longer tired. There was something burning behind their silence. We marched once, then twice, 3 times, then 4. By the 6th lap, the air felt heavy, like the city itself was holding its breath. On the 7th lap, I raised my hand. The priests knew what that meant. The horns began to blow, louder than before, sharper, unbroken. And I shouted, "Shout, for the Lord has given you the city." The people roared, a sound I'll never forget, not from mouths alone, but from spirits set free. And then the ground trembled. The walls, those proud, thick walls, cracked. Stone by stone, they broke apart like clay in the hand of a potter. Jericho's pride fell in one divine intervention. What no weapon could do, God had done in a moment. We stormed in, not to take glory, but to fulfill God's word. Jericho fell that day, every man, every warrior, but one house remained untouched. A small home on the wall, marked with a scarlet rope. Rahab. She had hidden our spies. She had feared the Lord before she saw his power. She and her family were spared, just as we had promised her. Even in judgment, God remembers mercy. That night, as the fires of Jericho died down, I stood outside the ruins and looked up. Not at what we had done, but at what God had done through us, with nothing but faith, silence, and a shout. I realized that God doesn't need might. He needs obedience. The walls didn't fall because we were strong. They fell because God is faithful. So I say to those who come after me, when the obstacle before you is great, when the walls are too high and the enemies too strong, don't rely on the sword. Listen for his voice. Even if he tells you to walk. Even if he tells you to wait. Even if he tells you to shout when it makes no sense. Because when God speaks, even still walls must obey.